GTA Online has over 800 total vehicles, so it can be challenging to determine which vehicles you should own. But today, I have built the best garage full of the most well-rounded vehicles for every type of player in GTA Online. So I'm coming here today claiming that I have the best garage ever built in GTA Online with the best vehicles in the game. And our first vehicle in this garage is going to be right over here. It is going to be the Duke of Death. So yeah, this is the Duke of Death right here. And let's go on the internet. Let's take a look at it. So it's going to be under war stock, cash, and carry. We need to sort by ascending because this vehicle is going to be the cheapest vehicle in the game. It is right here, the Duke of Death. This thing is free. It is free for everyone. So just in case if you saw this last screen, I mean, so is the Marshall is free for everyone. The Dune FAV, this is not free for everyone. And then the Terminus Patrol, it's currently free for me right now because I have GTA Plus. But the Marshall and the Duke of Death are free for everyone. I'm not talking about the Marshall. Marshall's pointless, whatever. But the Duke of Death, this thing's actually worth it. And before I talk any further about any of these vehicles, we're going to be starting out with kind of the budget beast. That's how I'm going to label these first 3 or 4 vehicles. These are kind of your budget B. So if you're low level, you should definitely look into purchasing, or it's not even purchasing a Duke of Death, but just acquiring these first 4 vehicles. But anyways, Duke of Death, you see it, like I said, absolutely free. But there's a thing right here also that just came with this vehicle. It was a recent update. It says it right there, missile lock-on jammer available. So yeah, not only is this vehicle absolutely free, you can have the option to go ahead and purchase a missile lock-on jammer, which, if just in case if you don't know, the missile lock-on jammer, it eliminates the possibility of enemies that have homing missiles or any vehicles that have homing missiles. They can't lock onto your vehicle, which that is a game changer. And for the ability for you to put that onto a vehicle that is absolutely free, I mean, that's a good thing. That is a great thing. But anyways, let's talk about like the qualities that this vehicle has just for a low level, because I mean, the missile lock-on jammer you won't be able to get for a while. So like you can see, this vehicle has some armor plating right here. Now, it's not the best armor plating in the game. Like, yeah, you can shoot this little gap right here, but it is a lot better than nothing. Like, it's a lot harder to shoot into here than it is to shoot into, I don't know, let's just say this vehicle right here. So you look at that. That guy's just straight up dead. If that guy was in this vehicle right here, he could still be alive right now. And this also can eat some homing missile shots. I think he can eat 1. So yeah, you can acquire this thing for absolutely free when you're just starting out in the game. So literally, you just create your account, you just log in, you just did your introduction mission into the game, all that stuff. And then you can just go ahead and just purchase this. And now you have some wheels. You literally have some wheels. And it's not the slowest thing in the world. It actually is fairly fast. Now, obviously, we're going to go over faster options later on in this video, but this is a pretty fast vehicle. It definitely packs a punch for its price being free. So yeah, that is going to be my first entry in the best garage ever assembled in GTA Online. But let's move on to our next vehicle. So we just went over the Duke of Death. The next vehicle on this list is not free, but it is pretty damn close to being free. That is going to be this bike right here. This bike right here is the Body 801. So let's just say you want to purchase this. You want to go under Southern San Andreas Super Autos. You want to go over to motorcycles. So by ascending, once again, like I said, it's not free. There's a lot of cheap options on this list, but here we go. Here you have the Body, and you have the Body 801 RR. I mean, these two are pretty much the same thing, but yeah, this is it. $15,000. $15,000 for the Body 801. Also, just like the Duke of Death, you can acquire a missile lock-on jammer with this vehicle, which is absolutely nice. But yes, the Body 801. Now, I would say if you're just starting out in the game, you get the Duke of Death, obviously. It's absolutely free. But then you also get the Body 801. There's so many different things that you can do that you can easily make $15,000 in like 2 minutes. So you go out, you get yourself the Duke of Death and the Body 801. Then once you have those 2 vehicles, you have your Thunder and Lightning vehicles. You have the Thunder, the bigger, powerful, kind of protects you into big gunfights in the Duke of Death. But then you also have your Lightning, the fast vehicle, kills you with speed. That's the Body 801. For being $15,000, it's incredible with how fast it is. It's one of the faster vehicles in the game. I mean, you can see me driving right now. I'm driving fairly fast with this vehicle. Now, the only downside with this and how fast it is, I don't know, let's just say I wreck. I'm gonna run into this car on purpose. Boom, you just crash like that. If you're in the Duke of Death, you're not falling out of the Duke of Death. That is like the one downside though. So if you're just starting out in the game and you're still trying to like figure out how to like drive and whatnot, and you're still trying to get comfortable with it and getting comfortable with the bike itself, then yeah, you might wreck a few times and it might be a little bit annoying wrecking. But as far as a speed standpoint, it's fantastic. Then obviously too, just like the Duke of Death, with the capability of putting on a missile lock-on jammer, like you can once you acquire that missile lock-on jammer, go into a public session, you can just be driving around and public enemies will not be able to blow you up, or at least lock onto you with an Oppressor Mark II, a Deluxo, anything like that. So yeah, Body 801, absolutely great. It's a great vehicle. Good bang for its buck. But anyways, let's get into our next budget-friendly vehicle in this garage. So we just went over the Duke of Death. We just went over the Body 801. Now let's move on to our next vehicle. So our next vehicle, once again, is a budget-friendly vehicle, and it's technically a vehicle you can acquire for free. But I don't know, surface level, if you don't know some things, you might be paying a lot for this vehicle, but you can acquire it for free. What vehicle am I talking about? It's going to be this vehicle right here. This is the Ocelot Virtue. So I mean, okay, I'm telling you that I've told you there's a way you can acquire this vehicle for free. I'll explain that in a second, but the official listing for it is under Legendary Motorsport. You have to scroll down a little bit. I just want to give you kind of like the basis on like what comes with this vehicle, or what can you upgrade with this vehicle. So I'm saying this is a budget-friendly vehicle, $2,235,000. Obviously that's not budget-friendly, but I'll explain. But I just wanted to show you this too right here, another vehicle, 3 out of 3 vehicles thus far that can have Amani Tech upgrades. And I just want to preface this before we progress any further throughout this episode. We're going to have a lot of vehicles in this list that have the potential to have Amani Tech upgrades, but I'm not going to have a specific vehicle in this garage where I'm like, this is the vehicle you have to have Amani Tech upgrades on. I just want to give you the information to let you know that this vehicle has it, this vehicle has it. So yeah, so when you acquire the Ocelot Virtue for free, well, just keep in the back of your mind that, hey, I can also put Amani Tech upgrades on it. You can put a missile lock-on jammer on it. But anyways, let's get back to this. So yeah, I'm saying there's a way to acquire this vehicle for free. So yeah, how do you acquire the Ocelot Virtue, this $2 million+ car for free? Well, let me pull off to the side of the road. Let's go over to jobs, and I want to show you what you can do. So Rockstar created, this is not the way you should start up this mission, but it's gonna be easier to show it to you this way. So these sets of missions right here, the last dose missions, they come right after the first dose missions. So technically you're gonna have to complete, was it 11 different missions? But once you complete all of these missions, after you complete the finale of the last dose missions, which is going to be right here, last dose 5 BDKD, you'll get a reward, and that reward is the Ocelot Virtue, this vehicle right here, which is a great reward. A $2 million car for absolutely free after completing those missions. It's great, and you're getting paid to complete those missions also. The ROI, when you take into consideration that you're getting a lot of money, I think like you're getting $1 million worth of first-time bonuses for completing all of those missions, alongside of getting a $2+ million car for absolutely free, plus also getting an acid lab. I mean, bro, those missions, the ROI on it, it's absolutely crazy. The return on investment is crazy. But let's get back to the Ocelot Virtue though. Ocelot Virtue is a fairly fast vehicle. It's a supercar. It's an electric supercar, so it's a pretty fast vehicle. And then obviously, once again, if you're interested in putting Amani Tech upgrades on it, well, you can. And once again, you can just go into a public session. I don't know, let's just say an oppressor starts coming after you and you're driving around a Ocelot Virtue that has Amani Tech upgrades on it. Then they realize that and they're just like, oh shoot, I'm just wasting my time. Why the hell am I going after this guy? And they'll just turn around and leave. But anyways, at the end of the day, this is still a great budget beast, just because you can get this vehicle for free. All you have to do is just complete the first and last dose missions. So there we go. Let's move on to the next vehicle. So it's time to get into our next vehicle, and it's going to be this one right here. Our last budget beast, it's going to be the Armored Kuruma. Now, the other three combined were $15,000. Two free vehicles and one that was $15,000. Armored Kuruma is going to be a different story. So we need to go over to Southern San Andreas. We need to go to a four-door vehicle. We just need to start scrolling. So here it is right here, the Armored Kuruma. Coming in at $525,000 for me personally. I've completed the Fleece job. So this is technically the trade price. The original price for this is just under $700,000. I'm still putting this as a budget beast though, because $700,000 in the grand scheme of things in GTA Online is not that much money. I mean, sure, this might not be like one of the first vehicles you can get, but it's still a very cheap and good vehicle that you can get. Now, this is actually our first vehicle that does not get a Monty Tech upgrades, so just keep that in mind. So the Armored Kuruma. Now this thing, we were talking about the Duke of Death, right? We were talking about the Duke of Death and how it was armored. It had some armor, and it's nice to have some armor. Well, I did say that it's not the best armor in the game, which is understandable. It's a free vehicle. The best pure armor in the game that, well, it's technically supposed to have armor, it's just not a stupid glitch, is going to be the Armored Kuruma. The Armored Kuruma has the best armor in the game. I mean, here, let me just park in the median for a second. I mean, you can barely shoot within these windows. I mean, there's no way. I mean, yes, it's possible to shoot in between these windows, but if you're just driving right past someone, there's no way that they're gonna shoot you out this vehicle. So when it comes to missions, this is a viable option to use. So we're gonna get into a bunch of vehicles. The next two vehicles, this one and the next one that we're gonna get into, are very, very good vehicles you can use in missions. And this one's by far the more of a budget beast when it comes to like a vehicle that you can use in a mission. You can just go against, like, I don't know, the toughest of the tough missions with like the biggest shootouts and whatnot. You can just drive straight up into the middle of it with this Armored Kuruma and you're pretty much protected. You're like 98% protected. Yeah, I've been using this vehicle damn near 10 years. This vehicle has been great for a long, long time. It's being overshadowed, though, by some better options, but it's still a great vehicle, and I still think everyone should get it at some point. The one downside, though, is that one explosive shot to this vehicle is just going to blow up. So explosive armor, it's non-existent. It's the bullet armor, though. It has a good bullet armor. But anyways, let's move on to our next vehicle. So we've definitely taken a pretty big step up from going from two free vehicles and a $15,000 vehicle to a vehicle that's like $700,000. But after this vehicle, after the Armored Kuruma, we're just going to take a much bigger step. Like the next 6 vehicles are pretty freaking expensive. We're going to put a bow on our budget beast, and now we're going to talk about like the really, really, really good vehicles that, well, have the price tag to resemble that. And the next vehicle is going to be the best vehicle to use in missions. That's going to be this vehicle right here. This big behemoth right here is the Vigilante. Now, the Vigilante is on Warstock, cash and carry. Sort by price. You want to sort it by descending. It's going to be one of the more expensive options, and here it is, the Vigilante, going for $3,750,000. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. We're well into the millions now. We didn't just barely cross into the million. We're well into the millions. There's 2 little notes right here. It's weaponized, and you can also boost with this thing, which, I mean, both of those are very, very nice about this vehicle. So the Vigilante, this is the best vehicle to use when it comes to missions. Now, we just talked about the Armored Kuruma. We can take that into any mission and we'll be 100% safe and whatnot. We can just stay in our Kuruma. We just take a pistol and pew 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 a bunch of people and we'll be good, right? Well, I don't know. First things first about the Armored Kuruma compared to the Vigilante is that it doesn't have a boost. I mean, this thing has a boost and it's fun. So that's one thing. This vehicle is just fun to use, right? And the next thing is, well, this thing has missiles. So if you want to take out opposing vehicles and whatnot. So yeah, we have this guy right here. He's shooting at me. You know what? I want to shoot a missile at him. Boom. There we go. Just like that. You can send missiles at enemies. There's a big van right there. I don't like that. Boom. Oh, someone else is trying to shoot at me. Boom. Oh, you're trying to run up to me? It's fine. Just run you over. And the crazy thing about this is that you can use this in missions. Now, usually, a lot of these weaponized vehicles you are not allowed to use in missions. But for some reason, they're allowing the Vigilante. In order to put missiles on this thing, you're going to need a weapons expert mechanic. So just keep that in mind, too, with the Vigilante. But I mean, this vehicle is fast. This vehicle has weapons on it. So I don't know. The Armored Kuruma, for example, I just think the Armored Kuruma is a defensive vehicle. The Vigilante is an offensive vehicle. I mean, just the weapons on this thing. Yeah, I mean, if you're just a sitting duck, yeah, they'll shoot you and you'll die. But the thing is that you're not going to be a sitting duck with this thing. You have a boost on this thing. You can escape out of any situation practically. You're fine. So yeah, Vigilante, great vehicle. Everyone should have this vehicle, especially if you're trying to do heists. If you're trying to do, I don't know, if you're trying to do missions, if you're trying to do heists, yeah, Vigilante is a must-have. But anyways, let's move on to our next vehicle. So the next vehicle we're going to be talking about is going to be the most expensive vehicle on this list or in this garage, but it's also going to be the most infamous vehicle in this garage. Just not being biased, this vehicle is just still amazing. And well, that vehicle is the Oppressor Mark II. This vehicle right here, I mean, it's just a fantastic vehicle. So once again, we got to go to Warstock Cash and Carry. Scroll down a little bit. On this account, I don't even have the trade price unlocked, which is crazy. But if you don't have the trade price unlocked, it's $8 million. But if you complete 5 client jobs as a boss, you can get this for $6 million. But in order to do that, you're going to have to purchase a terabyte. Here, I'll show you that real quick. You're going to have to purchase this thing, the terabyte. So, I mean, just either way, you're going to have to spend $8 million. Oh, also, before we really get into it, if you want to customize the Oppressor Mark II, you are going to need the Specialized Workshop. You cannot customize this vehicle anywhere else. Specialized Workshop from the terabyte is crucial. But anyways, let's get back to the Oppressor Mark II. You can see the notes right here. It's a weaponized vehicle. It has flying capabilities, and it also has boosting capabilities. And just in case if you don't know what the Oppressor Mark II is, and you're like, why? This vehicle looks stupid. Flying, how does it fly? Well, it flies like this. It flies like this. This probably should be everyone's go-to vehicle. I'm just me trying not to be biased. This should be everyone's go-to vehicle if you're just trying to make money. And if you're not in a mission, obviously, if you're in a mission, you can't use this vehicle. Outside of missions, though, this is probably the go-to as far as trying to do, like, I don't know, trying to do the contract for Dr. Dre. This is a great vehicle to use. If you're trying to do the Cayo Perico heist, this is a good vehicle to use to set it up. If you're trying to do any other missions in free mode session, this is a great vehicle to use. And once again, this thing has missiles. They're not as good as a Vigilante as far as its accuracy, but still just having missiles, like if you need to take out some enemies, you can easily do it. But yeah, I'm only talking about this vehicle in the context of it being a good vehicle to get from point A to point B on a map. I'm not talking about, I don't know, how easy you can grief other players with this vehicle. I hope you don't use this vehicle for that. There's not a lot of skill when you use this vehicle for that, but this vehicle definitely is here to make your life a lot easier when you're trying to just travel across the map. I mean, it's just such an easy vehicle to fly. But anyways, let's move on to the next vehicle on our list. So the next vehicle on this list is going to be one of 2 vehicles that you can actually make money directly with. Now, the other vehicles that we've talked about, they'll help you make money, but they don't directly make money. These next 2 have the capability of making money for you directly. And the first one we're going to be talking about is going to be this bike right here. This is the Hakachu Drag. Now, the Hakachu Drag is going to be on Legendary Motorsports. It's going to be under motorcycles. Now, this is not going to break the bank. Yeah, it's not going to break the bank. It's only $976,000, but I'm talking about this vehicle for its HSW upgrades. Now, you can put a missile lock-on jammer on this thing too, which is pretty nice, but I'm talking about it strictly for its HSW capabilities. Now, don't get things twisted. The HSW upgrades on this thing are pretty hefty, but if you want to put an HSW modification to this, which is going to be crucial for what I'm going to be talking about, it's an extra $1,450,000. So this vehicle roughly is going to be $2,400,000 to get it to the point where it can actually start making you money. So yeah, I've been talking about how this vehicle can directly make you money, and it can make you direct money from the HSW time trial. There it is right here. HSW time trial. These things right here, you can take this vehicle to this, and these are, just in case if you don't know, these are time trials that are only unlocked for vehicles that have HSW upgrades. So once you apply that HSW upgrade onto the Hakachu Drag, you can participate in these time trials. Then if you complete the time trial, you'll make $250,000, and you do that once a week. The time trials don't take too long. So yeah, it's a very quick but very easy, and honestly, it's a great fast way to make a decent amount of money. But honestly, like if you want to remove the money aspect from from this vehicle, I mean, it's still such a fast vehicle. I mean, this thing is fantastic. Love the control on this thing. Like, it's pretty much just a body 801 on steroids. We talked about the body 801 earlier. It was $15,000 to upgrade the Hakachu drag fully to have HSW upgrades. Is going to be at least 2.4 million. But geez, I mean, this thing is so fast. I mean, you are, geez, almost wrecked there. But I mean, you're seeing how fast I've been going. It is a very, very fast bike. So honestly, I don't know, if you're bored of the Oppressor Mark II, then well, you can just get on the Hakachu drag and you just start driving around. I don't know, it's just a fun vehicle to drive around in. So yeah, this is the Hakachu drag. Let's move on to our next vehicle. Moving on to our next vehicle is actually going to be pretty similar to the Hakachu drag in two things though. It's gonna be similar in two different ways, but this vehicle is going to be the Buffalo EVX, this vehicle right here. So it's gonna be under Legendary Motorsport. It's a two-door vehicle. Scroll down a little bit. So here it is, the Buffalo EVX. And it's similar to the Hakachu drag because it has Amani Tech upgrades, but it can also get HSW upgrades. Now the Buffalo EVX compared to the Hakachu drag, this is the better Amani Tech option, if that makes any sense. So like, it's nice that you can get Amani Tech upgrades with the Hakachu drag, but this vehicle, it just makes a lot more sense with though. So you can get the missile lock-on jammer with it, but then also with this vehicle, if you get the specific armor plating and all that with it, I don't know, someone is relentlessly trying to attack you when you're driving the Buffalo EVX, and I don't know, let's just say they get a lucky shot and they hit your vehicle, the Buffalo EVX, you're still going to keep going. And actually, the Buffalo EVX can eat a very good amount of shots. And part of that is due to it being an electric vehicle. If that happens with a Hakachu drag, you're going to die instantly. You're just going to get it blown up very quickly. Buffalo EVX, different story. So you have that. It's more beefy, but then it can also get HSW upgrades, making this thing very, very fast. Yeah, it's a fantastic vehicle. Now, actually, on this account, I've never actually purchased a Buffalo EVX, so I just purchased this like right before I started recording. But on many of the other accounts that I have used it, and I've just been blown away by this vehicle. So yeah, that is the Buffalo EVX. It is a fantastic vehicle. But anyways, let's move on to our second to last vehicle. Now, I'm going to categorize these last two vehicles that we're going to be going over as more fun vehicles. They're obviously going to be very, very useful if you want to use them, but I don't know, its usefulness is a little bit more niche, but you can still definitely have a lot of fun with these vehicles. The first one we're going to be talking about is going to be this vehicle right here. It's going to be the Torador. Now, the Torador is going to be under Warstock Cash and Carry, sort by price, and well, it's going to be a little bit more than the Vigilante. Vigilante is right here. It's going to be $500,000 more than the Vigilante at $4,250,000. So the Torador, it also has boost capabilities. It also is weaponized, but what makes this thing very, very unique is that it is amphibious. Only this and the Stromberg are like the two vehicles that can drive on land, but then turn into an amphibious vehicle. So yeah, the Torador, I think the Torador is a fun vehicle. It's a very, very fun vehicle. I don't know, it's just that it's being amphibious, it's good. It's just you don't really need to go underwater a ton, but I don't know, if you need to, this is the vehicle to go to. Like, even underwater, look, you can boost underwater. Voila. Now, I'm kind of turtling, but yeah, for whatever reason, if you need to go underwater, this is definitely the vehicle. I know there's some missions that need you to swim out. They need you to go out into the middle of the ocean. I know, what is it, the Diamond Casino heist setup, I think for the aggressive approach, it needs you to go underwater. I mean, this is a great vehicle to use just to easily get there. Like, even like this vehicle on land too, it's just great also. I mean, the boost is wild. The boost is really, really good. But I'd say even the missiles are fairly accurate too. So yeah, I mean, this vehicle is a lot of money, and I definitely think it deserves to be a lot of money. But anyways, let's go over our final vehicle in our garage. So the final vehicle that we need to go over that's in my garage is going to be this one right here. This vehicle is the weaponized Ignis. This is another vehicle under Warstock Cash and Carry. You sort by descending. It's actually gonna be the fourth most expensive item in Warstock Cash and Carry, coming in at $4,500,000. Now, this is a very, very just unique and interesting vehicle. These notes right here, they're not even painting the full picture, and I'll explain that in a second. But I don't know, let's state the obvious. It's weaponized because, well, it's a weaponized Ignis. If you don't know, the Ignis is just a normal supercar. They're just taking the Ignis base, and they're just mounting a minigun right on top right here. So yeah, this obviously is a minigun. We'll go over that in a second, but it's weaponized. But it also has HSW upgrades. So not only is this thing weaponized, you can make this thing just wickedly fast. But then another note that's not on here is that this comes with a missile lock-on jammer. So we've been talking about the missile lock-on jammer with the Amani Tech upgrades. I don't know, with like the Duke of Death, the Body 801, the Ocelot Virtue, the Hakachu Drag, the Buffalo EVX. Like all those, you have to purchase a missile lock-on jammer. Don't have to do that with the weaponized Ignis because when you buy it, it already has it. But yeah, the weaponized Ignis, I mean, this thing's fantastic. You have to scroll through your weapons though to get to the actual gun on top. Okay, but here we go. Yeah, we have the minigun out now. Oh, look, a truck. This truck's pissing me off. Just go ahead and start shooting at it. Boom. Apologize that my aiming sucks. But yeah, this minigun is very, very powerful. This parked car is pissing me off. Not pissing me off anymore. The problem with this minigun though is that you can't, there's only a limited amount of only has like a limited amount of range. It can't go 360. It can't really even go 90 degrees. But anyways, it's such a fast vehicle though. This vehicle is incredibly fast, obviously with the HSW upgrades, but this is like one of the fastest HSW vehicles, which is wild because it also has just a minigun mounted on top. The only problem though is that you can't use this vehicle to do HSW time trials. This is the only HSW vehicle you cannot use in HSW time trials when you have purchased the HSW upgrades. So that's a little bit of a downside, but I mean, still, it's just a fun vehicle to use. How fast it is, the minigun is incredibly powerful. So yeah, I definitely think you should be owning this vehicle. But this is the garage I have built, and this is what I'm claiming as the best garage in GTA Online. I mean, like, it has vehicles for your low-level players. It has the vehicles for the players that like to grind missions. This has vehicles for you just want to use just to easily go around and easily make money. It has vehicles that can directly make you money. It has vehicles if you want to get into like a very niche situation, and some of these vehicles are just fun to use in general. Honestly, if you have all 10 of these vehicles, you really don't need to purchase another vehicle. I think that's going to be a little bit of a hot take, but yeah, realistically, you do not need to purchase any other vehicles if you have these 10 vehicles. Now, obviously, you probably want to purchase other vehicles just so you can explore the game and just experience something new and whatnot. But I mean, if you have these 10 vehicles, there's not a necessity to go out and get another vehicle. That's how good these vehicles are. And that is why this is the best garage ever assembled in GTA Online. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you check out this video right here if you want to see me start out as a level 1 in GTA Online.